Hello, and welcome to episode 45 of Let's Talk Immigration. Welcome if you are watching currently or if you are watching the recorded version much later um, with popcorn and on your couch. I'm just picturing people really enjoying my show. That's all. Um, I don't have many updates today. Actually, I don't have updates. Um, Quick update for DV 2023 selectees who were not issued visas. To be clear, your journeys are over. I feel like there is someone has said that you need to verify that with Curtis, and I am drowning in inquiries on WhatsApp and Telegram and emails from thousands of DV selectees whose interviews were canceled, and your journeys are over. Please focus on the future. I know this is difficult. I know this was not fair. I blame the State Department for over selecting the number of diversity visa selectees and also for scheduling interviews when they knew they didn't have enough visas. It reminds me of how a really bad airline will sell more tickets than they have seats on the plane. And when you get there, there's not enough room on the plane for everybody. The difference is the airline tries to make it right by paying people for their seats. The State Department is not trying to make this right. In fact, they could have completely avoided it two different ways, not over selecting and then not scheduling interviews they didn't have. So I agree with you that you have been wronged, but there's nothing that can be done about it. There's not a viable litigation strategy to move forward. So next month, you'll be able to enter DV 2025. If you're wanting to study in the U.S., just because your diversity visa didn't select that, your diversity visa path didn't work, you can still apply for a student visa. I mean, the process for that is first you have to be accepted to a U.S. university or college that you can afford. And then after that, they give you what's called an I-20, and you take that and submit a DS-160, and then you do an interview. What the consular officer will be looking for in that interview is proof, evidence. The consular officer will need to be convinced that you do not intend to immigrate. Now, do not mislead them and not tell them you were a DV 2023 selectee, because they know your prior history with the State Department. Also, tell the truth. It's a good life policy. But what they will be looking for is your ties to your home country, your ties outside of the U.S., so that they can feel confident that you will not overstay the visa and that you will leave after you study. That's the same with a visitor visa. They just want the consular officer needs to be confident that you will leave. If not, you'll be refused the visa, as many non-immigrant visa applicants for tourist and student visas are. But I'm encouraging you, if your dream is to spend time in America, a temporary stay is better than no stay, right? So look into that. I don't represent people with student visas, except in the rare case of if you went to interview and then you're stuck in AP. I love to do lawsuits for people stuck in AP. Okay. Speaking of people stuck in AP, next thing I'll talk about, there's a lot of Iranian visa applicants especially, but other visa applicants too, from primarily the Middle East and Southeast Asia, that in Africa, that complete the DS-5535, and they're stuck in this. You don't know if it's going to be weeks or months or years before your DS-5535 is vetted. I just want to remind you that mandamus lawsuit is an option. The State Department changed its posture recently, where they are filing motions to dismiss in many of those cases. But important, the defendant in a lawsuit does not dictate what happens in the lawsuit, okay? So they file a motion to dismiss. Your immigration attorney, if you want to do the work, or me, if you hire me, we can file what's called an opposition to the motion to dismiss. Then they file a reply, and then the government issues an order on the motion, and then it goes to the next stage of the lawsuit. Just because the government files a motion to dismiss does not mean the lawsuit goes away. They are filing these motions as deterrent to discourage people from suing them. And I don't want that to work. I want us to fight back, okay? So we are fighting back in many of our pending mandamus lawsuits. And as I fight back, I realize how strong our arguments are and how it's just a matter of time before the government starts losing on those. And judges start issuing orders that say, hey, this delay is unreasonable. Hey, State Department, what are you doing? What is this DS 5535? But it will not happen if you don't file the lawsuits and if you do not fight back. If you want something, you got to fight for it. That's the American way. So if you're immigrating to America, just go ahead. Let's jump in, start fighting. Okay, that was my moment of emotion today. So if you have a question for me, I'd like to go to the question and answer section of this, but I don't have questions yet. On Facebook, type the questions there. YouTube, type the questions there. Telegram, type the questions there. And they will pop up on my screen, and I will answer them. I will post them right here, and I'll answer them live. Surely some of you have questions, right? I heard there was a big asteroid in the sky. Did anybody see it this morning, last night? I heard it was green. I don't know. I didn't see it. They said I had to wake up early to see it. Oh my gosh. No questions. Let me see just a second. No questions. Oh, here's a question. Okay. Dear Curtis Morrison, I am writing to express some indignation over the refusal to obtain a DV 2023 visa in Yaoundé, Cameroon. I received an anonymous email on the 11th of September at 4 p.m., some few hours to my appointment time, stipulating that visas were stopped on the 6th of September. I think I received this as an email too. Basically, your DV 2023 journey is over. I understand your frustration and I sympathize with it, but there's nothing that can be done about it. Sometimes we have a setback in life. Just focus on what's next. Ben says, how do you think decisions will be made on the Ray Good Luck claims on the appeal? Good question, Ben. The Ray Good Luck claims are mostly the same, slightly nuanced. I'm optimistic, okay? I think we are very much right in the letter of the law in that appeal. And the government the Biden administration is trying to expand presidential authority beyond what Congress granted them. And so I think that if the 3-judge panel is looking at the appeals from the lens of what Congress wanted and what Congress wrote specifically, I'm very optimistic. But, I can't predict things. I've never accurately predicted the outcome of a presidential election since 1976, okay? When I was a kid, I got one right. I have picked horses that would win before, but never, I can't predict the future, especially the outcome of a lawsuit. So, wish I could. Savvy says DV 2021. Okay, when someone says DV 2021, I have to start all over from the beginning and go back to 2021 and say there are only 2 groups of people whose DV 2021 whose journeys continue. The majority of DV 2021 selectees, your journeys are over. The journeys that continue are the Good Luck and Go plaintiffs, because we got orders from Judge Mehta reserving visas, not enough visas for all, but reserving some visas. And then Judge Chutkan reserved visas for DV 2021 selectees who were waiting for interviews at specific embassies, including like the Schengen area, Brazil, South Africa, I think, and China. Not many, but those are the people whose those are the DV 2021 selectees whose journeys can continue. And for all of them, we're waiting on the outcome of the appeal. 3-judge panel. They heard oral arguments a year ago, last September, and we are waiting for them to issue their opinion. We don't know when that will be, but that's the update. Okay, on this 12th of September, this is looks like it's continued of the last question. Okay, where someone's a DV 2023 selectee that's frustrated. I understand that, but you don't have a viable path to do anything about it. The law is really clear. They only have 55,000 visas, and actually this year they issued more than that. They used up 56,000, over 1,000 more than the cap. So we can't go into court and argue, hey, they're withholding visas from the DV program. They're not doing that. They didn't do that. They issued the visas. So nothing we can do about it, but I understand your frustration. Similar question. We had scheduled interviews in September. We were prepared and waiting for interview. 3 days before they wrote to us that it was canceled. We need a lawyer. We want to appeal 32 cases. Okay, Georgians, all 32 of you have emailed me and messaged me, and someone just called me on behalf of their Georgian niece. I need to tell you something. There are not 32 cases. There are 4,000 cases that were canceled. I know that there's a group of 32 Georgians that are very focused on trying to stand up for their rights, but there's nothing that can be done. Okay. You say we're your 2023 green card winners from Georgia. Okay, you're not now because the 2023 program is over. So let's focus on the future. There's nothing that can be done for DV 2023 selectees who were not issued visas. Now, if the selectee was issued a visa and just a derivative was not issued a visa, like a spouse or child, unmarried child, definitely contact us. Okay. Because we can assist with either an I-130 petition for the family member that was not issued a visa, or a reentry permit for the selectee so that they can leave the U.S. for an extended amount of time, because we want to keep families united, right? So we do assist families in that situation where the selectee was issued, but one or more of the derivatives were not issued. Guys says DV 2020. Okay, he's talking about Gomez. We do not have an update in the Gomez appeal. We're still awaiting the outcome of the appeal. Okay. Vladimir says, hello, Curtis. How are you doing? I'm just writing in 2 days. It will be a year since we are waiting for a decision in DV 2020-21. It's a shame, but it seems we have to just wait. That is true, Vladimir. It is coming up on an anniversary of the oral arguments. And it is a shame, but that's the way the court procedures work. Okay. You are welcome. I will continue to keep you updated as long as I can. DV 2021, I already answered that question. If you're a DV 2021 selectee who's a good luck plaintiff, don't say DV 2021. It makes me frustrated because it causes me to have to explain something that I shouldn't have to explain to you. Okay. Most DV 2021 selectees, your journeys are over. You still come to me, but your journeys are always going to be over. The ones that aren't are the good luck plaintiffs and the ones who can benefit, and the DV 2021 selectees who can benefit from the rate order, and also the GO plaintiffs. Okay. I have some inquiries regarding work authorizations, employment in California. Is it possible to obtain one from outside the United States? I don't typically handle employment visas, okay? Work authorizations are not always connected to employment visas, though. They can be connected to a pending adjustment of status application. But you can't adjust status if you're leaving the US, because adjustment of status means that you're staying in the US. So I need to know more information about your situation, and it's something that probably won't work as far as like an answer in a call like this, because it's very detailed specific. So give us a call. Hit me up on Telegram or WhatsApp or something. Okay. I came across news stating that certain trucking companies in California have brought in over 6,000 truck drivers from Cuba in recent years. That's interesting. I'm not aware of that, but if that's true, that's awesome. Henny says, hello, Curtis. Happy first birthday since Good Luck Appeal hearing. Okay, happy first birthday since Good Luck Appeal hearing, Henny. I don't like the way you said first birthday, because it implies that we're going to have a annual day of remembrance for our anniversary of the Good Luck Appeal hearing, and I don't know if I could survive another year. Okay. Ben says, if my interview was moved to Prague on September 6, 2021, we were not invited to the interview. Case was not transferred to KCC. Do I relate to Ray's lawsuit? Is my case still registered in Prague? Okay, you've only mentioned one of the embassies. It was moved to Prague from where? Where was it before then? Also, is Prague in the Schengen area? I'm feeling stupid right now. I don't think it is, but I could be wrong. So I need to maybe message me that question so that I could do a Google search and find out if Prague is in the Schengen area. And also I need to know where was your case before it was moved to Prague? Okay. Because I don't know if it was at another embassy or if it was at KCC. So that's why you need to message me. Okay, Hater says, my disappointment is that there's no right. Well, that's my disappointment with life also. I'm from Iraq. I won the 2021 lottery, but I did not get an interview. I was lucky again. I won the 2023 lottery and took an administrative procedure without any lack of documents. My interview was on April 26, 2023. And now they saw the number of visas has expired, and I am one person, meaning only one visa. Okay. Hater, I do not blame you for being frustrated, but as someone who watched DV 2021, I don't understand why you didn't contact me after your interview in April 26, 2023 to talk about a lawsuit, you know? I mean, you had several months there where you could have done something about this. Instead, wait until it's over. Generally speaking, hiring an immigration attorney after the disaster doesn't work. You got to hire them before to prevent. I'm sorry. I know you're having a really difficult time right now, so I shouldn't be preaching. I'm frustrated too, and I'm sorry for the hardship that the United States has caused you. Oh, you are a good luck plaintiff. Okay. I think you're a good luck plaintiff. You didn't say you're a good luck plaintiff, but you're expecting a decision in good luck. Okay. You went to DC Circuit website, and I noticed that a lot of decisions were issued since the end of August were written by Judge Kaskisk, and all that had their hearing between September and October 22. Oh, they've issued a lot of orders on cases they heard in earlier this year in 2023. What you need to understand is cases are not, and you understand this, I'm sorry, cases are not decided in order that they had oral arguments. Some cases are really easy to decide. Our case is not. Our case has thousands of pages of court filings that we wrote, the government wrote, lots of arguments that have to be considered by those judges. If they made their decision without considering all the arguments, we would be very vulnerable on appeal. So one benefit of a decision that takes a long time is usually it's a well-reasoned decision, which means it's a decision that took into account as much information and as many arguments as possible. So, but if the decision comes soon, that's great. Anna says, hello. Hello, Annis. I wish you typed your question because I'm out of questions. Annis, do you have a question? If I don't get a question here in 1 minute, we're going to wrap up for the today. I did see a tip that I shared it on Instagram or Telegram. I don't know where I shared it. If you are a recent immigrant to the U.S., a diversity visa 2023 selectee, because that's who's coming in a lot lately, you need to register for selective service if you are a young man. That is mandatory. That's different than mandatory military service like they have in Iran or Israel. Here, or where else? Singapore, I think. I don't know. I can't remember. There are a few countries that have mandatory military service for all males. The U.S. just has mandatory registration where you sign up for the list so they know where you're at. And they haven't used this list since the Vietnam War in the early 1970s. So it's very unlikely that it would have consequences to you. But if you don't, as a recent young man immigrant to the U.S., if you do not register for selective service, you could have problems later with naturalization. Okay, so it's best to comply with the law and do what you're supposed to do. Okay, last question. Ameda says, hello, good evening. Something new for the DV 2020. Since next September 16th will be a year of the hearing of the Gomez class, the 2020-21 Divistas are waiting for a response. Okay, no, there's actually not a question there. Is there something new? No, there's no update on that. And yes, we are all waiting for a response. Here, I'll take one more question. Russian case, 14 cases was moved to Prague. And only 7 interview was there because 7 other people not DQ. It's complicated to talk about more than one case at a time. Prague is Czechoslovakia, right? Usually my team, the Czech Republic, would answer this question in chat so that I wouldn't sound like an idiot. But is Czech Republic in Schengen area? I typed Google and yes, it is one of the 22 states in the Schengen area. I should have known that. Then a case that had already been moved to Prague, meaning it said ready SEAC status, would be able to potentially benefit from the Ray order. So that is the answer to your question. If the case was still at Moscow, I don't think so. If the case was at KCC, but you were waiting on Prague, I think that you could potentially benefit from the Ray order. Something interesting about DV 2020 is none of these cases now are in DV. Well, it's a little confusing. The cases for, let's just talk about DV 2020. They have already been deployed to the embassies, but the embassies cannot access them. It's going to take, they're going to have to run some code or something if we prevail on the appeal. So some of you are out there emailing KCC about DV 2020 and 2021. KCC will not be involved at all in the implementation of the Gomez and Good Luck and Ray orders that will happen by the embassies in the event that we prevail on the appeal. And in Good Luck, win summary judgment also. Okay, that wraps up a lot of questions. Nice 30-minute show. Everybody be careful out there. If you're experiencing hardship due to the floods in a million different places, including Libya, I just saw, I hope you stay safe. lots of natural disasters going on in the world right now. So be safe out there, everybody. Talk to you later.